In recent years, I've sort of come to the realization that life is basically like the cumulative result of the things that we do every single day. So, if you really want to change your life, you need to change the things that you do every single day. And this, sort of one of my exercise regimes, skipping, that I just did right now, is my way of not only, coping with life, but it helps me, enables me, rather I should say, to fulfill my responsibilities and the goals that I have for my life. And one of them, of course, is health, fitness, wellness. And what I've found is that whenever I don't exercise, my body feels sore, I'm not in the right state of mind, and I'm not as productive. So I know online there have been a ton of videos of talking about, hey, you need to be productive like this, hey, exercise like this. And they're all being correct, by the way. But think of it in terms of what I would call, there are certain cardinal habits that I've placed in my life, and I think a lot of people should. And one of them is exercise. Do whatever, whether you walk, you run, you stretching, whatever the case may be, do that. Okay, so now we're going to, I need to shave, desperately need to shave. Mainly, I just need to look, presentable, I don't know what the word is. But secondarily, maybe more important, immediate right now, is I need to shave for some photo shoots and videos that I need to shoot this week. One of them, of course, being this one. And I'm gonna try actually shave today with what they call a safety razor, instead of your typical Gillette type blade or your electric razor. And this is basically a safety razor. I used to shave my grandfather's head and beard when I was younger, primary school, with this. And I haven't since, it's probably been 15 to 20 years since I last did it. So let's pray that I don't cut myself. I thought, since we're all in quarantine and I'm starting out this new vlog series with getting the idea from Vogue's, I think it's called Vogue's 79 questions or something like that. But we're going to do 49 questions in quarantine, 7 today. So let's go ahead. I'm first just going to lather myself with some cream and we'll take it on from there. Now, typically when you shave, it's better to use a traditional barber's shaving cream or oil or some kind of cream, I don't know what to call it. But right now, what I've got is your typical Gillette style shaving cream, which is not the best. I'm going to leave that in for a few moments to soften the beard. You want your skin and your beard as soft as possible. So, as I said, I'm going to do, for the length of this vlog series, 49 questions in quarantine, kind of Q&A. And today we're doing 7 questions. So let's go ahead with the first one.
What is your favorite time of the day?
My favorite time of the day is early in the morning when I wake up. I wake up actually quite early, 4 o'clock, typically every day. Especially when I don't, sleep late. Wake up at 4 o'clock, and the first thing I do is spend some time reading my Bible, reciting a book or two of the Bible. Not typically, every single day. Currently my favorite book in the Bible right now is the romantic ballad, Song of Songs, sometimes called Song of Solomon. and I recite that, I pray, sometimes I journal, and when I start my day off like that, an hour every single day, 4 o'clock till 5, my day is set. For some reason that I cannot explain, it is just very good for me to start off like that. When I don't, my day doesn't feel right. So that's how I start off my day. And then at 5 o'clock, I exercise, home exercise. I've always done that. In recent years, I haven't used the gym. And for about 30 minutes to half an hour. And then of course I go and take a shower after that. So that's how I start my day. Anyway, let's get starting now. So the thing with the safety razor, when you know, going to use it, make sure you have warm water in your basin and just soak the razor in there for a little while. It helps with the efficacy of it and reduce the chances of cutting yourself. And then you want to hold it, you want to sort of glide your razor, your safety razor, at an approximately 30-degree angle. You don't want it to be at a 45-degree angle like this. You will cut yourself. So about 30 degrees, and then be slow and deliberate with your cuts. Don't press into your face, you will cut yourself. Be just the natural pressure that of the blade head itself is enough. And go with the grain of how your hair is growing in your face. And that's it, and just enjoy it. There's some parts of your face, of course, that you're going to want to sort of pull tight to be more effective with your shaving, like here. Even though I haven't used a safety razor in a very long time, I have found it, based on my experience shaving my grandfather, to be amongst top 3 razor types in terms of efficacy and precision. It leaves the least hair behind and also the least risk to having shaving razor bumps afterwards. It's a very I find it very sanitary also. So you can see already, very clean shave, no cuts, and the key to that is that 30-degree angle. Now when it comes to your sideburns, it helps to slightly pull the skin a little bit because it's not as taut as around the mouth, and then you just start shaving. Be at ease, don't be apprehensive about cutting yourself. If you're gentle and not pressing the blade against your skin, all will be well. And you've used the right amount of leather or shaving cream or barber's oil, you'll be good to go. Go with the grain of the hair, the beard. Be gentle. Actually, let's go ahead with the second question.
Okay, what are 3 things you cannot live without?
Wow, 3 things that I cannot live without. When I say things, I'm assuming we're talking about actual things, objects, and not people. So I'm not going to name any people, otherwise I think I'll end up naming 3 people. So I would say, first, even though probably not the most important, is I can't live without the internet. I don't know who can these days. the internet, and by extension, any device that uses the internet, so my laptop, my iPad, my phone, my camera that I use to shoot these videos, shoot these photographs for my social media. That would be the first category of things that I can't live without. Second, I would say, well, I can't live without good food. I don't know how people eat garbage food. It's part of the reason why I can't stand eating a lot of fast food, because most of it is not good, ill prepared, too much oil, too much salt, just bad food. And then lastly, and definitely the most important, is I would not be able to live without my Bible. I use it on a daily basis for recitation. I don't do actually much Bible reading on a daily basis. I only do it once a week. What I do daily is memorizing in chunks a book of the Bible, and then I recite whatever other passages from specific books of the Bible that I've memorized previously. So for example, let me give you a little taste. So Song of Songs, as I said earlier on, is currently my favorite book of the Bible, and it starts off like this. I'm going to give you probably the first 7 verses. Solomon's Song of Songs, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Your hair is like perfume poured out. No wonder the maidens love you. Take me away with you. Let us hurry. Let the king bring me into his chambers. We rejoice and delight in you. We praise your love more than wine. How right they are to adore you. See? First 7 verses are about. Very emotive book of the Bible. So I've just finished shaving my entire face. As you can see, a really good clean shave is what you get out of a safety razor. As always, use a clean face towel or towel. Pat your face, don't be rough with it. Pat your face dry and put some balm or whatever, doesn't really matter, to prevent what you call this, especially bacteria, fungal infection or whatever, entering your pores. Anyway, let's go for the next question.
What is your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert by far is definitely tiramisu. Give me a tiramisu any day and I'll be very happy. Next question.
What are you listening to?
So, that's actually an interesting question, because for the past... By the way, the only thing I use on my body is coconut oil, God's gift to mankind. For the past 2 to 3 years, I've been looking for new music, for an artist who's gonna blow me out of my mind, like Lana Del Rey and The Weeknd do. Who've got good music production, good concepts in their videos, and extremely good lyrics and storytelling. And I've just discovered the past week the answers to my prayers. This lady, her name is Sevdaliza, I think it's how it's pronounced. It's Sevdeliza. Sevdaliza. She is so good, and her videos, wow. So immediately after you've shaved, please make sure you moisturize your face, whether you use like coconut oil like me, whatever is in your skincare regime. But I recommend that you keep it simple immediately after shaving. So just a shaving balm and then some kind of moisturizer or oil or ointment, whatever the case may be. Do that. and keep it like that. So that's what I always recommend. Don't shave in the morning, shave before you go to sleep at night, so you can keep things simple. And that's it. Yeah. Next question.
What is the most adventurous thing you have done?
I don't know the answer to that question, but I think having left work, we had a good paying job, really loved it, loved what I was doing, loved the people that I was working with, the things that I got to do for studying, to study again, is, I would say, maybe close to an answer as I can give of the most venturous thing that I've done, and that's it. Next question.
How do you start your day?
Well, like I said before, I wake up 4 o'clock every morning, have a consistent waking up time, by the way. Have enough sleep. So what I do is, I pray, I recite my Bible, exercise, and then I take a shower and groom myself, look good. And that for me is a good start to the day. Now, before we continue, I highly recommend this product. You want to have this. Someone who's got more sense than me recommended it to me the past month, and it has done wonders. Part of the reason why my skin looks so good is because of this thing. And I've always had good skin, but no, it's taking it up a level. Anyway, last question.
How did you come up with the idea of Mr. Mini?
So, I need to turn for this one. So as I said, I mentioned about my work. I've worked in Joburg, I've worked in Cape Town, I've worked in Port Elizabeth. I've had to travel a lot for what I've done, where I used to work. And I used to work in the luxury industry. So anything to do with lifestyle, luxury, fashion, design and leisure, that's what I used to do. And people used to always ask me, either because they see postings on my Facebook or any other social media platform, they have been to industry events as a guest with me, or my peers within the industry itself, or when they just hear me talking about luxury goods, luxury brands, and the luxury industry itself, would ask, but how do you know this stuff? How do you know so much? And why am I not producing content, either in a blog, a podcast, something, a video, so more people can know about it? Because the people asking me these questions, found it very interesting and something they would like to know about. So eventually, after years and years of being cornered with these questions, I've caved in and decided to ask Mr. Mini. And basically Ask Mr. Mini is about, especially more the behind the scenes of what goes on in the luxury industry. Anything to do with lifestyle, luxury itself, fashion, design and leisure. Those are the things that Ask Mr. Mini is about. Also, in addition to that, you'll see when you view the content or read my podcast, listen to my podcast or read my blog or interact with any of my content, is one of the, let me say, there are lots of social media influencers or just celebrities or influencers in general that I like, but 99% of the time, the problem that I have with them is that they only present, the final product, the complete version of their lifestyles or what they do, and they don't really tell or showcase, demonstrate, illustrate how they followers, their fans, can practically, step by step, this is what I have done to get to here. And they show them in their content, the behind the scenes of the amount of work it takes. For example, you're a fashion influencer, the amount of time it takes to shoot a video, to write a blog, to research on it takes a lot of time. I think sometimes people have this idea that you wake up one day and you just overnight become an influencer. No, it takes a lot of work, but the problem is that a lot of them are not showing it, and I want to show that show what I do and how to do it and how to get there, what you need to work at. And then lastly, in a little bit, not a lot, to demystify. No, a lot of what I do or used to do at work, I still do a little, and to demystify some of the social media nonsense that we encounter these days. Anyway, that's it for the session. Go buy yourself a safety razor. You'll thank me later. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna sort of show you how I shoot my videos for the content I produce. And as you can see, I literally just had to take away all the bedding from my bed to make way, also, no, so I don't make it dirty. And today we're basically shooting, if I can just show you quickly, I'm going to review Inga Atelier's face masks, COVID-19 and all. So we're going to do a basically luxury good review of these products. And so, as you know, if you've been watching my content on Instagram and other platforms, I use this marble burnished brass frame table. What do they call it now? The technical name for this kind of table. A console table. This marble top console table. Since last year, for anyone who's been watching my wine reviews since then. And of course, this is kind of a selection of some possible outfits. One of them I'll wear in the actual video itself. And that's pretty much it. I think I'm going to do the typical sit down behind the console table thing. I'm going to stand here and just have these lamps in frame. And I think, yeah, we'll get the show on the road. What I really wanted to show is that anyone who's been watching my content since 2019 rather, they will notice that there's been a slight change of setup. In the place that I used to live in last year, it was rather smaller than the current place I'm at now. So what's really funny is that with last year's place, I literally had to, every single day for my videos, basically, let me show you. I had to literally put the bed, mattress, and the base, move all the furniture out of the way every single day, just so that I can shoot at least one video. So I've come to, since last year, have an awesome amount of respect for people who create content, photographers, but especially your social media content creators and influencers. I think people don't give them enough credit for the amount of work behind the scenes that takes place. You need to research whatever your content's going to be about. You need to have your props ready. You need to set up your shooting space. You shoot, your styling, and then even after you go into post-production, your editing, the sound, the music, the grading of the video, whatever it is, it takes a lot of work. And referring to earlier on in the vlog, where I said that I really want to show not only the quote-unquote glamorous side of what I do in terms of lifestyle, luxury, fashion, design and leisure, and the products that I showcase, but especially the behind the scenes of the business, what it takes to get stuff done. Because I really want people to see that. Because that's what I would like to see a lot more from social media influencers and content creators. To give you the tools, the advice, the guidance, the resources, a little sneak preview into, if you want to get into this game, this is what is the kind of work in terms of hard work, being solution orientated, how much it's going to take from you, and the time. Shooting content, producing content takes a lot of time. So let's get to shooting this video now. Ciao. Now, of course, we've all been in quarantine in various ways, self-isolation, holed up at home, whether it's alone or with families, as we're going through the coronavirus pandemic globally. And we're interacting with each other, whether it's online, via Zoom meetings with friends, WhatsApp, whatever the case may be. We're reading the news, we viewing people's experiences through vlogs, stories on Instagram, and on various other platforms, watching the news. And coupled with that and speaking with people that I know, I get the impression that a lot of us think that this is the pandemic itself and its social limitations that it's put on us is the worst that it has done and it is going to do. And I think this is a patently false presumption. The real social and economic impact, fallout, implications of the coronavirus pandemic are only going to begin to be felt right now as the world begins to open up its economies. Now, jobs are going to be lost. Jobs have already been lost. I mean, in America, I think in the first week alone of the national shutdown, approximately 4 million plus people lost their jobs. And a lot of those, of course, are in the lower end of the employment market. So they've got at least 2 to 3 jobs that they're working with. So you're looking at about 6 to 12 million jobs were lost, even though 4 million entered the unemployment space. In South Africa, I read yesterday that a minimum, this year alone, of 800,000 jobs will be lost. And I think that's a relatively conservative estimation. I think a greater number of people are going to be out of their jobs, are going to be let go. For the simple reason that companies cannot shut down for a period of 3 to 6 months. And we think that they're going to be in the same condition they were in prior to the pandemic and the various national shutdowns across the world. And of course we know that the health of an economy, a country's economy, depends on the productivity of its citizens and its enterprises. And we have not been productive as a citizenry and as enterprises in South Africa, in America, in Italy, in Brazil, whatever country you're in. We have not been productive for at least 3 months. And the impact of that is going to be felt for a lot longer than 3 months. From the same article I read yesterday, that the productivity lost during South Africa's shutdown by companies and citizens it basically amounts to, in terms of its, what shall I say, the multiplying effect of economic productivity is equivalent to 5 years. It's going to take a minimum of 5 years just for us to get back to the kind of economic activity we had prior to the national shutdown. Now, this has some significant implications for us as everyday people. Whether you're at the lower end of the economic spectrum or at the higher end, our spending power is going to dramatically increase. I've already seen that just buying groceries. For the same amount of money that you used to spend 3 months ago for groceries, you get half your trolley. That once, twice a year holiday that you used to take, it's gone. A lot of us are going to lose our jobs, or at the very least are going to see pay cuts or reduction in hours. Simply put, we are going to experience a contraction, a reduction in our quality of life, in our standard of living. And the question is, since the end is nigh, the end of the world as we knew it, are we ready? And I think readiness, if you're going to be the kind of person who's going to be ready for the economic and social fallout of the coronavirus pandemic, I think it's going to have to start with a change of attitude on our parts. We are going to have to build an attitude and mindset of contentment. To be content whether we are in plenty or we are in want. We are going to have to build a mindset, foster a mindset and attitude of gratitude. To be grateful for what we have, whether it's plentiful or limited. We are going to have to cooperate with one another. We're going to have to reach out for help. We're going to have to help other people. We are going to experience a completely new way of society, and we need a certain kind of mindset to not only survive but to thrive in that mindset. So the question remains, right now, as we are in various forms of lockdown in our various countries and we gradually beginning to come out of it, what are you doing right now? What kind of mindset are you fostering? What kind of mindset are you taking on to be able to not only survive, but make the most of the new world that we are beginning to enter? Let's think on that. This is about to become probably the shortest apartment tour that you have ever seen online. So let's go ahead, about to do an apartment tour. You're going to see where I live currently. It's not my actual apartment, just where I live currently. Let's go ahead. So to begin with, this is of course my study area. I'm going to start there with, as you can see here, I've got my exercise mat. This is what I use both for stretching and any form of home-based bodywork exercise that I use. My white marker board where I keep notes, plans, reminders, whatever the case may be. And then of course the actual study area. I actually used to use this laptop over here to edit my wine review videos, but now I use a different one, a new one. This one I use mostly for school related work, and then as you can see a whole lot of textbooks here, mainly economics, finance, investment, some management, and then some of the novels that I've read, fiction. Let me see if I can get my favorite book ever. The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien, the writer of The Lord of the Rings. The best fantasy book ever written. That's all I'll say. And then, actually interestingly, immediately after shooting this video, I'll be recording a live podcast that I'll be streaming via my Instagram at Ask Mr. Mini. I also use this actually to also record a separate podcast that's for some PASS, PASS, which is a student academic support service. I don't know what to call it, whatever you want to call it, but it basically provides guidance, resources for students online. So I use that, record a podcast once a week. Speakers, of course, my Bible, how to say. And then, this apartment is actually it's small, not as small as the one that the studio apartment that I used to live in last year. But yeah. Now, it so happens that, with the coronavirus pandemic, I think in many ways I've been better prepared than a lot of people that I've interacted with, encountered, in terms of the financial implications of the fallout of the coronavirus pandemic. In that I've downsized. After leaving work, coming to study, I downsized, and this apartment pretty much embodies the downsizing, the simplicity that I adopted. I don't want to say minimalism because I'm not a minimalist. I'd rather say simplicity in living, simplicity of standard of living. So I think as the realities of the economic implications, the financial implications, the social implications of COVID-19 kick in very soon, I think the best thing that people can do is adopt a life of simplicity. Minimize our consumption, minimize our consumerism more so than that. But anyway, so wardrobe, where I keep my clothes and other belongings. I won't be opening this. We'll do a separate video with a wardrobe tour very soon. This is, of course, I suppose you could say the kitchenette area, the fridge. Talking about simplicity, by the way, you can come and look here. The day of our South Africa's national shutdown in terms of the pandemic, decided to become a vegetarian. So I'm going to be a vegetarian for at least the rest of the year. I'll probably only eat meat now in Christmas, maybe, or New Year's, who knows. Then, by the way, tonight I'll be eating some farfalle, also known in Italian as stracchetti, which is basically bow tie pasta. I love it. I love pasta, in fact. I could eat it every single day. I'll be having it with some pasta sauce, with some herbs and spices. It's gonna be good. Of course, vegetables. I actually recently had a wine that what was it? Which wine was it? I can't remember now. I think it was Durban area. The Semillon Sauvignon Blanc, and I think what's the other wine varietal? But it was it was the blend, the Durban area Semillon Sauvignon Blanc blend, and it had some sort of pineapple undertones to its flavor, even its fragrances, especially a pineapple that has been really ripened in the sun. And I'm hoping that by putting this here, I'll get that kind of pineapple, because it's based when it's like that. That's pretty much it. Of course, I use this blender to make juices. Also, when I'm making pasta, blend the tomatoes in there. And I think that's pretty much it from this side. Then, of course, is the bathroom area. This is quite simple, a shower. I could never live in a place without a shower. It would drive me mad. I love baths, but once in a blue moon, I feel like they're too much hard work and labor, because I have to wash them afterwards. But of course, these are some of my skincare and dental or health products that I use on a daily basis. We'll do a separate, skincare, oral health, scalp hair, sort of routine video thing very soon. But yeah, bathroom. And then of course the last area, my sleeping area. I am a fan of white linen. And the reason I'm actually doing this tour, I should actually mention that, is that very soon you'll see over the series of these vlogs for preRICH, is that I'm gonna redecorate this studio apartment. One, the duvet inner for this has lost its luster. So does Fluffy, it's pretty much very thin right now. So I want to buy a new sort of hotel style variety. And then there's of course this marble top, what do they call this table? I keep on forgetting every time. It's called a console table. I love this. I bought this last year in March, I believe. I actually got it from the designer who designed this piece for half the price. I'm a sucker for a bargain. I don't like buying things full price. But anyway, I want to actually buy some ornaments from here, remove these, or some really good, brilliantly designed lamps or vases, whatever the case may be, I don't know. Make it really look bougie, I suppose. And then there's a painting that I'm gonna paint very soon that you're gonna see here, probably in the 7th episode of this vlog series, preRICH. maybe a large or medium-sized gilded mirror that I want to put up there. And then in terms of this couch sofa thing, this I bought when I still had an apartment in PE, and it's part of a whole set that's pretty much like this that another furniture designer made for me. But I want to move this because it's taking up too much space. Rather, I want to bring some single-seater, I don't know, single-seater something I want to bring there from the same designer that actually made the console table. And maybe I'll put another painting there or a photograph from this, probably my favorite Instagram personality, and that's the Suited Racer. I love his photographs. They're very cinematic. They've got a sense of motion, a sense of action, very comic book-like. I like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll do a whole reveal by the 7th episode of how the apartment would look then, because my style is very sort of European, almost gaudy, but understated, classy. That's how I like my interior design and decor to look, the feel of it. I like to feel like I'm living in a hotel room, and that's how my actual apartment is, not the space, but I want to have the space look like that. So that's it for the apartment tour.